Chapter 39. Showing his fangs. Can't bullshit with him anymore. We have to hurry and inform Grandpa. Hopefully it's not too late. Kang Chon's heart sank, followed by his legs as he scurried towards the outside of the royal residence. Where is virtuous nephew going? Uncle kindly invited you, but you're also too disrespectful to Uncle. A light laugh came. The clear and breezy Lin Wei in front of him finally made his move. He slapped his palm out. The turbulent true chi surged and surged out. The piercing white light illuminated the entire space. The momentum was like divine punishment, worthy of being an 8th level Foundation establishment stage powerhouse, more than dozens of times stronger than that Lin family's 7th elder. Kang Chon's figure had to stop, raising his overlord fist and battling with Lin Wei. Instantly, the two powerful forces collided together, toppling the entire gate of the king's mansion. Worthy of being the #1 person of the young generation in Heavy Iron City, Uncle has underestimated you. Lin Wei was shaken back by Kang Chon's punch. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, and his expression became much heavier. Kang Chon was also shaken back a few steps. His face was gloomy as he looked at Lin Wei on the opposite side. The strength of the 8th level of the Foundation establishment stage was indeed powerful, and the other party was still at the late 8th level of the Foundation establishment stage. Unless he was able to break through to the 7th level of the Foundation establishment stage, it would be difficult to counteract it. The late Foundation establishment 8th layer Lin Wei was much more powerful than Kang Chon had imagined, and as soon as he made contact, he felt the terrifying power coming from the other party's body, which was like a river torrent surging and intimidating. However, Kang Chon's performance shocked Lin Wei even more. He had thought that even if Kang Chon was strong, he would at most be at the peak of the 7th level of the Foundation establishment stage, but when he actually exchanged blows, he realized how wrong he was. This brat absolutely cannot be retained, or else it will definitely be a great disaster for our Lin family in the future. Lin Wei squinted his eyes at the opposite side of the sky, icy cold killing intent escaping from between the slits in his eyes, morose and absolute. This youth in front of him gave him feel a pang of scorn, and the only way to solve this problem was to get rid of the other party. Half a year ago, Kang Chon had already defeated a strong person at the 7th level of the Foundation establishment stage, establishing his position as the #1 strongest person of the young generation in Heavy Iron City in one fell swoop, thus stirring up the entire Heavy Iron City. But now, only half a year had passed, and Kang Chon's strength was already able to pose a threat to Lin Wei, who was at the late 8th level of the Foundation establishment stage. And this horrifying rate of progress had already caused Lin Wei to feel a huge threat. If a few more years passed, I'm afraid that the Wong family would really have a Jidan stage powerhouse appear, and that would undoubtedly be a disaster for the Lin family. Killing intent erupted in Lin Wei's eyes. He absolutely couldn't allow this kind of terrifying genius to live, especially when the other party was still his enemy. For this kind of genius, strangling him before he grew up was the best option. Overlord Fist. My heart is invincible. Kang Chon raised his fist to blast, an invincible heart in his chest beating violently. His purple Kang Chon hegemony blood boiling up, an invincible hegemony erupting from him. This was the invincible intent of the hegemony fist, a domineering aura that was unrivaled. Even when facing Lin Wei at the 8th level of the Foundation establishment stage, Kang Chon's eyes were still incomparably confident. His eyes were as bright as stars, light flickered, and his body's battle intent surged to the heavens. This was a kind of absolute self-confidence in one's own strength, and those who possessed this kind of self-confidence were undoubtedly the most terrifying of people. Lin Wei's eyes blossomed with cold electricity. Kang Chon's expression made him feel ashamed. He seemed to have been underestimated by a hairy child. It seems necessary to show you the true power of the 8th level of the Foundation establishment stage. Accompanied by an icy voice, Lin Wei's aura surged once again, his terrifying power doubling several times over from earlier, a majestic pressure spreading across the sky. HMPH. Kang Chon's face changed. The powerful oppressive force made him feel an incomparable gravity. His expression was serious as he looked at Lin Wei, who was charging in large strides in front of him. It was obvious that the battle just now was just the other party warming up. Let's show you my Lin family's supreme palm technique, Flaming Palm. Lin Wei's face was livid. Crimson true qi converged into his palm. A scorching hot stream of qi sparked out. The majestic heat caused the entire space to boil. As if a red-hot iron hand, it ruthlessly slapped at Kang Chon. Kang Chon's face changed. From the other party's palm, he sensed an aura of danger. This palm absolutely could not be taken hard. Heaven Escaping Hand. At the critical moment, Kang Chon struck out his Heaven Escaping Hand. A terrifyingly large hand of true qi appeared from the sky and collided fiercely with Lin Wei's fiery palm, erupting into a terrifying tremor. Is this the move you used to defeat that Wong Fei kid back then? It's indeed powerful. It doesn't seem to be your Wong family's best technique. It seems like your kid is hiding quite deeply. Lin Wei's eyes were icy cold. His hands were crimson, and he then used these pair of boiling palms to tear apart the Heaven Escaping Hand with a hard blow. Kang Chon, who had backed away, looked at this scene in shock. This was the first time that the Heaven Tackling Hand had been defeated head-on, and it was still such a crushing defeat. Kid, don't be unwilling. Your strength is too weak. If you were at the same level as him, a single Heaven Escaping Hand would have slapped him to death. Emperor Dan's voice came out. Kang Chon couldn't deny what he heard. The Heaven Escaping Hand was indeed terrifying. That Lin family's seventh elder was even one rank higher than his cultivation. In the end, he wasn't slapped to pieces by one of his Heaven Escaping Hands. However, the cultivation gap between him and Lin Wei was too great after all, and it was normal for the Heaven Escaping Hand to be ineffective against him. Kid, it's better to obediently tie your hands. I'm afraid that by now, your grandpa has already gone to our Lin family as a guest. Lin Wei once again slapped his palm, killing intent in his gaze, and he also stimulated Kang Chon with his words as he did so. Grandfather. Kang Chon's gaze stared as he abruptly thought that if he tangled with him here, he would have no way of informing his maternal grandfather's side. He couldn't help but feel anxious in his heart, and with this anxiety in his heart, the rhythm of his battle was disrupted, and he was taken advantage of by Lin Wei to steal a few hands, which could be considered dangerous. Kid, my father said he would crack your grandfather's bones one by one. Ha! Seeing that his words worked, Lin Wei couldn't help but intensify his verbal attacks, and his strikes were also very ruthless, each move putting people to death. Kid, don't fall for his ploy. Emperor Dan reminded, sighing in his heart that Kang Chon, after all, hadn't been exposed to much of the world and wasn't experienced enough to be old-fashioned. But Kang Chon smiled bitterly in his heart. How could he not know that this was the other party's ploy? But he couldn't ignore it. After all, he only had this one grandfather, and his only relative in this world. Kid, according to what this kid said, that person has already reached the Jidan stage. Even if you rush there, it's useless. It's better to catch this kid, and then go to replace him. That guy shouldn't be able to give up his own son. Dan Emperor suddenly said. Dan Emperor's words made Kang Chon's eyes light up. Yes, this bit of his own cultivation would be a death sentence, even if he rushed there. But if he could catch Lin Wei, then he could use it to blackmail Lin Beishan. Ginger deserves to be old and spicy. Kang Chon sighed. No more worries in his heart. His gaze turned towards Lin Wei, his powerful battle intent rising once again. Wanting to defeat Lin Wei wasn't that easy. This was something he knew very well. So, this time he could only put up a fight. This brat, Lin Wei frowned as he looked at Kang Chon, whose battle intent was sky high. In his heart, he wondered why the other party had suddenly adjusted his state. Could it be that the blow he had dealt him should not be enough? Thinking of this, Lin Wei took advantage of a palm to blast back Kang Chon, and once again spoke out to stimulate him. "Kid, I heard that Wang Chon holds a grudge against your grandpa. I wonder what will happen if your grandpa falls into his hands." Kang Chon smiled coldly as he sneered, "I think that when I catch you, your father will make the right choice." Lin Wei's face changed, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help but twitch. "That depends on whether or not you have the skills." With a roar, Lin Wei's aura rose once more, and between his palms, it was like the momentum of rushing thunder, surging and surging. Undoubtedly, Kang Chon's words had completely enraged Lin Wei. "That's right. Let's see the real thing underhand." Kang Chon saw this and smiled faintly. In his dark eyes, purple flames danced. His battle intent boiled up. His body's true chi surged and surged. An invincible domineering aura rose from him. Although the opponent was very strong, but this was a good opportunity for Kang Chon to take the opportunity to break through. After all, such an opponent was hard to find. Kang Chon had an intuition that perhaps today was the time for him to break through the 7th level of the foundation establishment stage. God seemed to verify Kang Chon's thoughts. Under Lin Wei's terrifying pressure, Kang Chon finally felt that the 7th level of the foundation establishment stage diaphragm in front of him had loosened up a bit. This situation undoubtedly invigorated Kang Chon. He raised his voice to the sky and shouted at Lin Wei, "Again, you're a strong foundation establishment stage 8th layer. Is this all you've got? It's too much of a disgrace for your Lin family." Lin Wei's face was ugly at his words, boundless killing intent flowing from his crimson eyes. "Kid, you seek death." Like a ferocious wild wolf that had its tail bitten, letting out an angry roar, Lin Wei's entire body's true chi spewed out in a desperate manner, and as his crimson palms bombarded out, the entire space boiled with a burst of sizzling air currents. Pressure, a huge pressure once again struck the heavens, a deathly dangerous aura approaching. Good. It's this feeling. It's as if I've realized the feeling of wandering on the edge of death. Kang Chon's eyebrows were dripping with cold sweat, but his eyes were filled with excitement. He could feel that the diaphragm at the 7th level of the foundation establishment stage was about to be pierced by himself. Go to hell. Lin Wei didn't know what Kang Chon was feeling right now. He was completely like a wild wolf that had gone mad, ruthlessly pouncing. However, in the face of all this, Kang Chon unexpectedly closed his eyes, his expression solemn, both fists waving. He practiced the Overlord Fist on his own, yet very coincidentally blocked Lin Wei's attack. Fiery flame burning sky. Lin Wei finally exploded his master stroke, and in a flash, the entire space was covered by a crimson, sky-covering palm shadow, so hot that it scorched the earth. Lin Wei's double palms fiercely blasted into the heavens, and a torrent of scorching heat came crashing down on his face. "Kid, go meet your dead mother." Lin Wei laughed morosely, his face hideous. At this moment, Kang Chon violently opened his eyes. A blinding purple light came out. He raised his fist and blasted out. Unrivaled true chi surged out. The Overlord's fist was unstoppable with a single swing. Lin Wei's hideous face stagnated. A dangerous feeling approached his heart. Along with the opening of Kang Chon's eyes, a terrifying aura violently erupted from his body, as if the Tiger King who had been sleeping for 1,000 years had awakened. His unrivaled aura rushed straight into the sky. Facing this sudden outbreak of aura, Lin Wei felt a death-like aura. Overlord Fist. Kang Chon's eyes blossomed with two icy cold purple rays of light. Two surges of true chi surged out from his body, and his two fists that followed fiercely struck out, as if they were floods of absolute rapture. The unrivaled storm of true chi vastly impacted out, and the entire space was shrouded by a blinding white light. No, Lin Wei's face was filled with horror. An aura of fear surged into his heart. In the midst of his terrified voice, the light that was like daytime mercilessly swallowed him in. Within these white rays of light, all of them were true chi storms made up of the shadows of Kang Chon's fists, each punch shocking the heavens and the earth, each punch unrivaled and despairing.